proclamation.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to the December 8th meeting of the City Council. Before we do the roll call and the pledge, especially since we say the words "and justice for all," I would like to make a few comments speaking only for myself. Although I and my fellow City Council members are all white, we have friends and relatives who are African American. We have city staff and members of the Albany Police Department who are Black. Some of us work in communities of color. We understand the deep grief and anger that are felt after the killings of the two young Black men in Ferguson and in New York. Black lives do matter. I have a deep commitment to work with my brothers and sisters in both white and communities of color, so that someday in this country we will see justice for all. Thank you. From the report of the closed session, we gave directions to staff. And the roll call?
Councilmember Atkinson?
Present.
Councilmember Barnes?
Present.
Councilmember Nason?
Present.
Vice Mayor Moss?
Present.
Mayor Weil?
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Consent calendar. Consent calendar items are to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. By approval of the consent calendar, the staff recommendations will be adopted unless otherwise modified by the City Council. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or a member of the audience requests removal of the items from the consent calendar.
Any wishes for removal of items from the City Council?
Nope.
Okay, members of the public? Okay, back to the City Council. For a motion?
I'll move approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
Okay. Roll call?
Councilmember Atkinson?
Aye.
Councilmember Barnes?
Aye.
Councilmember Nason?
Abstain.
Vice Mayor Moss?
Aye.
Mayor Wow?
Yes. Okay. Our
Presentation. Resolution number 2014-105 in appreciation of Marge Atkinson for her service on the City Council, and resolution number 2014-106 in appreciation of Joanne Weil for her service on the City Council. Staff recommendation that the council adopt resolution number 2014-105 and resolution number 2014-106.
Shall we pass that first and then do the presentation?
So moved.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a second?
And seconded.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Atkinson?
Aye.
Councilmember Barnes?
Aye.
Councilmember Nason?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Moss?
Aye.
Mayor Weil?
Yes.
Okay. So I will do.
Circumstance. Okay.
It is my pleasure to read resolution number 2014-105, resolution of the City Council of the City of Albany in appreciation of Marge Atkinson for her service on the Albany City Council. Whereas Marge Atkinson was elected to the office of City Council in November 2006 and served a 4-year term as member of the City Council, and whereas Marge Atkinson was re-elected to the office of City Council in November 2010 and served another 4-year term through 2014, and whereas during her terms, Marge Atkinson has served the city as council member, vice mayor, and as mayor. And whereas Marge Atkinson's commitment to the environment is well demonstrated by her active engagement on environmental issues, including her work to help identify solutions to climate change and volunteering at local cleanup events, including the city's annual coastal cleanup. And whereas Marge Atkinson's support for a greener Albany is further demonstrated during her term on the City Council, including the creation of the city's Sustainability Committee, the passing of the city's Climate Action Plan, and the Active Transportation Plan. And whereas during Marge Atkinson's terms on the City Council, the Council has addressed a significant number of important issues and programs, including, but not limited to, providing housing and assistance to persons who are homeless in Albany, initiation of a transition plan for the Albany Bulb into the larger McLaughlin East Shore State Park, approval of plans for Pierce Street Park, approval of the University Village mixed-use project development, retirement of long-term city manager Beth Pollard, and recruitment selection, and support for new city manager Penelope Leach. And whereas during Marge Atkinson's terms, her support for community programs and services is well evidenced in her active participation with the Albany Senior Center, school programs, community engagement, and community events. And whereas Marge Atkinson has provided countless volunteer hours to support the City of Albany, attend special events, and represent the city at both local and regional events. And whereas having served 2 consecutive terms, Marge Atkinson was unable to run for a 3rd consecutive term and is leaving the City Council. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Albany hereby extends its appreciation to Marge Atkinson for her service as council member and mayor of the City of Albany.
Wow. Well, thank you very much.
Well,
I appreciate
thank you.
it. Give me a hug here.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, resolution number 2014-106, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Albany in appreciation of Joanne Weil for her service on the Albany City Council. Whereas Joanne Weil was elected to the office of City Council in November 2006 and served a 4-year term as a member of the City Council, and whereas Joanne Weil was re-elected to the office of City Council in November 2010 and served another 4-year term through 2014, and whereas during her terms, Joanne Weil has served the city as council member, vice mayor, and as mayor, and whereas Joanne Weil has demonstrated steadfast leadership throughout her terms on the city council, including assuming the role of mayor following the unexpected loss of Mayor Peggy Thompson, and whereas Joan Weil's wealth of experience in social service programs has provided significant assistance to the community, bringing both compassion and expertise to help shape the city's human services outreach and engagement programs. And whereas Joanne Weil's dedication to the community is further demonstrated by her ongoing willingness to assist the Albany Unified School District at times of need or crisis, offering support to district staff and the school community. And whereas during Joanne Weil's term, her avid support for environmental issues, sustainability, and a greener Albany are well documented, including the creation of the city's Sustainability Committee, the passing of the city's Climate Action Plan, and an Active Transportation Plan, and the city's achieving the highest waste diversion rate in Alameda County. And whereas on numerous occasions, Joanne Weil has volunteered to serve as a mediator during times of discord among groups, working towards collaboration and identifying mutually agreeable solutions on behalf of the community. And whereas Joanne Weil's support of community programs is well evidenced in her work with the Albany Library's Pause for Reading program, including energetic and loving participation by her dog Jake, to listen to stories read by young children to help encourage confidence in reading skills. And Whereas during Joanne Weil's terms on the City Council, the City Council has addressed a significant number of important issues and programs, including but not limited to providing housing and assistance to persons who are homeless in Albany, initiation of a transition plan for the transition of the Albany Bulb into the larger McLaughlin East Shore State Park, approval of plans for Pierce Street Park, approval of the University Village mixed-use project development, retirement of long-term city manager Beth Pollard, and the recruitment, selection, and support of new city manager Penelope Leach. And whereas, having served 2 consecutive terms, Joanne Weil was unable to run for a 3rd consecutive term and is leaving the City Council, now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Albany hereby extends its appreciation to Joanne Weil for her service as council member and mayor to the City of Albany.
Thank you. We'll accept public comment.
To start. I know that I speak on behalf of staff. I know that both of you have received a couple of emails from some of the other department heads, but I can collectively say that we will miss you very much. Your gentle guidance and mentorship and leadership is obviously demonstrated by the many things that were listed in the resolution, but in addition to that, you have both been so supportive of staff, and again, your gentle guidance with us and support of us over the many years, and your ideas and your willingness to work with us and make us feel like we're all part of the team is really why I think we're in such a great position right now in terms of our staff and how productive they are, and they love to come to work, and it can't be that way unless staff and the council, work together and try to move forward in a way that unifies us. And you guys have demonstrated that for us over and over again. So we appreciate your leadership, and you will definitely be missed.
Thank you. I could do some. After that very long, very nice commendation, I can cut this in half. Anyway, I did want to say a few words on the last meeting here, and particularly since amazingly the 8 years have gone by like whisper in the wind. It just seems like it's been so very fast, and yet there's been a lot that's happened in the 8 years. So I would like to say that I'm very grateful to the many friends and family and community members that have supported me during this time. And I know I will definitely look at the city in a different way, figuring out how things work behind the scenes, because it's never the same of what you think it is before you get here. And I hope that everything that we have done and the decisions we've made have just been to make Albany a better place, because I think that's what people do when they get elected here. I would like to recognize Bob Chasty, who got me into this, for better or for worse. Told me that I was the one that was going to stand up for us, and that we're trying to keep them all off the waterfront. And I'm happy that that worked out. And I'd like to recognize Brian Parker, my campaign manager, who made it possible and made sure I was walking the streets when I was supposed to be, so to speak. So I would like to say that I also appreciate Beth Pollard, the former manager, and Penelope Leach. They have always listened with a very open mind and been very fair to everybody that they work with. And I think it's really been an honor to work with you both. And the city staff, of course, you can't do this without the staff who make us all look good up here, because they do so much work behind the scenes for everybody. So Joanne and I got elected together as a team at the time of a very poor economic outlook, and tried to make sure that the city stayed afloat. And of course the city, you did that. But on the other hand, we knew it wasn't going to be easy, and we're very proud, I think, at this point to say that the city's back on its feet. The new council is going to have a lot more options. But even then, I think there were a lot of things that we wanted to do and did accomplish, particularly community outreach. I particularly, since I work at the high school, I've had people tell me that they feel that the community really, and thank you, I see our community engagement specialist, who, and all the staff members have worked to really make the community an inviting place. The Dinner with Albany happened. We have other community events that are happening. We have the Pierce Street Park that we really worked hard behind the scenes which is something the public isn't going to see. All of the work that the staff and members of the council did to go to Sacramento to talk to the important people up there that could actually move some, considering Caltrans move barriers, and made things like that happen. So I think we're very, very proud of that. The Voices of Vision was another event that, I think helped the city see where we wanted to go. And National Night Out, I see the police chief back there, and again, our engagement specialists that have really made a difference in the city and made people feel like they're part of the community. So you don't get here without support, and you don't get here without people being, wanting to help you out to do this, and I really appreciate all those people and the many friends. I can't tell you how many people you meet and the friends you make by being involved in the community this way. So I hope that we have made the Albany a better place. I think that we have, and it's been a real honor to serve the community. So I do thank you very much. Well, so one more word. I wanted to thank Joanne because I think she's been a great mayor. It was a wonderful running mate, and I'm so happy that we were able to come on this together and be a team to help the city. So anyway, thank you too.
Thank you. Other comments from people?
Robert Chasey, I'd like to thank the two of you for the service you've done. The thing that people who don't do too much of this don't realize is just how much of an impact it takes and it makes on your family life and your ability to be able to have a normal, free social interaction with people and to be able to have the kind of life that a private person has where you're not burdened by a million others' cares and a million layers in the communications. So it's a lot to do, and it's a tremendous gift that you give to the city. I'd like to thank you both for doing it, and thank all the other members here who also are serving. It's been an especially difficult time because we had you came into office at a time when the town was basically torn in half, or torn into parts in any event. And being able to reunite the community and to get past that and be able to build bridges on issues that weren't divisive so that the community could heal, that was a very important thing, and I appreciated the tone that both of you took to make sure that would happen. The ability to reach across the aisle and to be able to invite people who maybe don't agree on one issue but might agree on another to participate and to be part and parcel of the community and to be part and parcel of the decision-making process of the council. It was just a wonderful aspect of the service that both of you gave us. So thank you very much for your service. I'm glad to see you back in the public and hope that you'll be back up here urging the council to do good things because, as you know, there are many, many more things that need to be done. So thank you very much.
Alan Maris, Albany resident. I want to thank both of you for your service to the city as well, but I'd like to recognize Peggy Thompson's contribution that we don't have a chance to thank her as well. She did an awful lot for this community, and I'll always remember her contributions as well as yours. Thank you.
I'd like to thank you too, all of you, and particularly the ones that are leaving, for the time that you've spent preparing behind the scenes. I'm the daughter of a woman who was on a town selectman, excuse me, and she had 8 children, and she spent a lot of time preparing as well, so I have some sense of it. And she also participated, it came up in a town where there was a vote that tore a town apart for about 25 years, so I know that does happen, and it's a lot of responsibility. In appreciating your work, I must say that I haven't followed the City Council much until recently with the whole, events on the bulb. And in the same way that we are expecting our police forces now to become less tone deaf to the diversity of the communities that they're responsible for, I expect city councils are going to have to become less tone deaf in that way. And that's been the only sad and discouraging part of the functioning of the city council that I've seen, and you've accomplished a great deal. But I hope in going forward, the city councilors that remain will listen to the diversity of the community, because Albany is changing, and we can't send all of our problems to Berkeley. Thank you.
Thank you. Marge is usually a better spokesperson than I am, so I'll be pretty brief. I want to just say that it was important to be able to run with Marge, and it was at a time, as Robert Chasey mentioned, that there were so many divisions about what would happen at the waterfront. I'm very grateful that we had Voices to Vision with Fern Tiger, and that with the information that she was able to bring, we were able to mend a lot of the profound differences that we had had in this city. I'm very grateful to special staff. People are so hardworking and committed to making things better in this city, and as Marge said, it really makes our jobs easier. And we've also had a city council that's wanted to collaborate and problem solve together, and that's really been a pleasure. And Peggy Thompson told me when she ran for mayor that she would only do it if I were vice mayor, and I said okay, and I never really thought that I'd have to do anything other than kind of be her sidekick. And you know, I was, you know, very distressed, as we all were, when she died unexpectedly. So I'm wishing the new council well, and I have a lot of confidence that things will go well. So thank you. And should we proceed with the next item?
Before we do, I'd like to present both Councilmember Atkinson and Mayor Weil with some flowers on thanks from city staff for all the work you've done to support us, as Penelope said, and a little memento of the city of Albany until we see you again.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Can I say one more thing?
Of course.
I have my notes, but I forgot one thing. But one of the things that we didn't mention that I think is really important is the people that do support us, and those are the commission and commissioners, the committee commissioners that spend so much time behind the scenes that are also very supportive of us. And I meant to say something about them, because we couldn't do our jobs, and the city really couldn't do their jobs without those people that are willing to spend time and effort on the different organizations that we have in the city. That anyway, I really appreciate. I didn't bring all their names, and I know you don't want to hear all of them, but there's a lot of people out there that I'm very thankful for in terms of helping us out. So that's my last thing. Thank you again.
Thank you.
May I, just very briefly, I want to say how much I've enjoyed and what an honor it's been to serve with the two of you. And I also want to say, from the perspective of a relative newcomer, to the council, really still, I've just been tremendously impressed by the thoughtfulness and the goodwill and the effort that everyone makes to be positive and constructive and get things done in a collaborative way. It's been wonderful, and I attribute that to those of you who have been leaders here, and Joanne in the role of mayor. It's very impressive, and it's appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me add to that a little bit. I will miss both of you guys, and although I'm sure we will see each other and actually get to talk more often now that you're off the council. But you came on in a kind of rough political and then rough economic times, and the ship of state, or the ship of Albany, had a pretty good ride while you guys were on council, and I think that has to be attributable a lot to your kind of understanding and compassion, and you will be missed.
Thank you.
Now we will go ahead.
Okay. Next item, if I may have the new Council members, join me in the front of the dais, please. We'll have our oath of office ceremony for our new council members. If you please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
The meeting is adjourned, and we can now celebrate the new members.